Hello everyone, I'm sitting here covered in little needles that have decided to explore what it's like to merge with me and to show me what it's like to be one with nature, and I feel like it's the perfect prelude to the topic I'd like to explore with you today that has to do with oneness and our concept of self. And also, I'd like to speak a little bit about boundaries because it seems like those topics are very, very connected with one another. So this experience and this topic came up for me in my latest mushroom trip, which happened at the new moon. And my intention was to basically answer the question of who am I? And as a straightforward and obvious question to ask in this kind of setting, it seems like it never actually came to me before. So I decided to ask it. And it was pretty fascinating because the first thing I experienced was actually I was walking down in a nearby forest. And as I was walking, I had this very, very strong sense like I'm walking within myself. So this forest around me and the mountains and the sky and everything, it felt like a sort of like a part of a wider body that I was actually inside of, but was at the same time me. And my entire journey was on this topic. It was kind of like looking around and really deeply feeling how this mountain over there is me, how the sky above is me, and how the rain that was pouring, it was like it's raining inside of me, and the coldness I was feeling, it was like it's cold inside of me, and then the sun came out and it's like enlightenment inside of me. And it was one of the most powerful experiences I've ever had. And it got me really, really wondering, about, for example, the way in which I've experienced spiritual practices so far, whether that's meditation or yoga or shamanic journeying or breath work or whatever. It's usually actually directing our attention inwards as a way of, awakening our consciousness. Whereas in this case, when I asked, about the self, I was shown that I am everything around me, and like this body is just like one small expression of that. And it was pretty fascinating. I started asking myself, why is it that all these traditions, all these spiritual traditions look inwards, and there's so little happening that is actually supporting us and helping us to look outwards, in terms of how do we identify or how do we understand our concept of self. So that's been pretty fascinating. It actually felt a little bit like my shamanic journeys, in the sense that it's like I was tripping in a reality in which like I was very aware I am within myself in it. So in that sense, I could see how it can be just a natural unfolding of, after looking inside ourselves for some time, at some point, this greater truth gets to reveal itself to us. So after experiencing myself as one with everything, the next layer that came up, like the day after, it was like, okay, Zari, you have to drop everything. I was like, okay, I'm dropping everything. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And then what came up was, it was about boundaries. It was about like, now you have to start setting some boundaries. And, and my background with boundaries is actually, in a way, I've always struggled like to understand them or to work with them, because I have this way of really connecting and merging and sort of disappearing sometimes, even in connecting with other people. But in this situation, it was like, oh, now you have to look at boundaries. And suddenly, as I was doing that, it dawned on me, oh wow, it's similar to, what people say, that if you're able to experience great happiness, you're able to experience also great pain. Is very similar here. If you're able to experience a greater sense of oneness, you're also able to hold and discern and, keep these more clear boundaries with other people. Because they're kind of two parts of the same spectrum. And once the spectrum opens, both ends become more accessible. And so this was really, really surprising to me. And I really don't know what this means for you guys. I guess it's just opening up this questions of whether or not you might actually be everything that you see around you. And how deeply can you experience that? And also, kind of, I don't know if this would be the path to, to basically being able to hold stronger boundaries. Because I've heard about holding stronger boundaries throughout my experience in the last couple of years, but it has never been more clear and more easy after actually experiencing myself as one with everything that's around me. So perhaps this is the path through which we reach this sense of stronger boundaries with other people, where we are able to tell them, okay, this is how far I'm willing to go, or please stay away from this, or just be very clear on the way we want to engage. So maybe for other people this is going to go through the other perspective, where you first explore boundaries and through that you find your oneness with everything. But I find it very, very interesting that those two are so connected with one another. And and because of that I just felt like telling you guys all these latest discoveries in my psychonautic experience over here in Peru, Sacred Valley. I hope this has been useful, and I wish you a beautiful day.